Here we go. Righty-ho, Wacky Wednesday. It's quite funny, this book. We have to go kind of slow because the pictures, you have to look really closely because every picture's got something really wacky happening in it, something not quite right. Wacky Wednesday. It all began with a shoe on the wall. A shoe on the wall shouldn't be there at all. Then I looked up and I said, oh man, and that's how Wacky Wednesday began. So what else can we see? We can see a shoe on the wall and a shoe on the ceiling, but let me tell you, it gets worse. I looked out the window and I said, gee, more things were wacky, and I saw 3. Have a good look at the picture. Can you see, I need to put it back so you can see the whole picture. Can you see 3 wacky things? 3 things that just aren't right. Give you a wee second. So the 3 things that I see that are just not right is, how can this hose be sprinkling when it's got a cut in it? That's not right. And how can a tree grow bananas and apples? That's not right. And I don't think that worms usually chase a bird. It's usually the other way around. That's not right, is it? All right, let's see what else we can find that's wacky. I went down the hall and I said, hey, 3 more things were wacky today. What can we see down here that looks a bit wacky? Give you a second to have a look. Gosh, it's a while since I've read the book. I can see 2 things that are wacky. I can't see the third one. I wonder what it is. I can see 2 door handles on the door. And I can see a candy cane instead of a table leg. What's the third one? Can you put a chat through and tell me what the third one is? Because I can't even see it. I should have done some homework before I came in here. Can you see the other one? Maybe someone can tell me. What's the other wacky thing? Beautiful. All right, we might have to come back to that page. I can't see the third one, but there'll be something. Anyway, we'll carry on. Oh, in the bathroom. Don't look. In the bathroom. In the bathroom, there was more. In the bathroom, there were 4. You see 4 wacky things in the bathroom? Some pretty wacky things happening. I bet you've never had a tree growing in your toilet or an upside down tap. Imagine that you turn that on and it would wash your face instead of washing your hands. And the goldfish in the bottle, I'm not sure that that's where it should be. I don't know. Righto, let's keep going. Oh, and she's wearing 1 sock in the shower. Who wears a sock in the shower? That's just silly. I began to dress. Then I said, wow, 4 more things were wacky now. So the poor bedroom's gone even worse. What else can we see? We've got a chair without a leg. Got another shoe stuck under the... Oh, there's another shoe up there. What's wrong with the clock? The clock's all round the wrong way. I looked in the kitchen and I said, by cracky, 5 more things are very wacky. So we've got a beetle holding up the fridge, a cup that's not hanging, someone stirring their pot with an umbrella, that's a bit silly. And look, there's no plate at the table, there's just a hole there. I was late for school. I started along and I saw that 6 more things were wrong. Goodness gracious, we might not find all 6. Look, there's a window with no house. There's a house with no door. There's a man driving from the back seat. That's all a bit silly, isn't it? There's other things there that are wacky, but we'll just keep going. And then 7 more. Have a look and see if you can find some of those wacky things. Some of the things are colours that are wrong. There's something very, very strange with that car. And one of the houses just doesn't look quite right. What's wrong with one of the houses? It's all a bit wacky, isn't it? Oh, did you see what he's wearing on his head? He quite likes shoes, obviously, this person, doesn't he? And the Sutherland sisters, they looked wacky too. They said, nothing is wacky around here but you. Can you see some wacky things with the girls? There's some pretty odd things there for them. I yelled, 8 things are wrong here at school. Nothing is wrong, they said. Don't be a fool. All right, have a look. Maybe you can put some things in the chat. What can you see that's wacky? Something wacky in the, well, there's two wacky things in the tree. Someone can't spell very well. There's something wrong with that flagpole.
Was there a cat there?
What else can you see in the classroom? Do we usually have tigers in the classroom? That's a bit crazy, isn't it? Lots of funny things. Nice. So pop them in the chat. If you can see something that's wacky, pop it in the chat for us.
Yeah.
It's quite helpful. If we can't see things, it's quite helpful to have them in the chat. I ran into school and I yelled to Miss Bass, look, 9 things are wacky right here in your class. 9 wacky things. Can you see 9 wacky things? Pop down the bottom of your screen and you can do that chat. So if you see some wacky things, what can you put on the chat? There's some things that are very peculiar. There's one child there, I don't know how he's sitting at his desk because he hasn't got a chair. The teacher's desk looks a bit wacky as well. Lots of wacky things. My goodness. Righty ho. Let's carry on. Nothing is wacky here in my class. Get out. You're the wacky one. Out, said Miss Bass. Goodness gracious. It's a bit tough, isn't it? When you see something that no one else sees, that's always a bit hard, isn't it? I went out the school door. Things were worse than before. I couldn't believe it. 10 wacky things more. Have a look. See if you can find a couple. Oh, someone did very well. Lincoln switched for Washington. And look at the way he's sitting on his horse. That's not the way you'd be wanting to sit on a horse facing the other way. I like the wee giraffe coming out. It's a bit wacky, isn't it? Oh no, we'll keep going. Then I counted 11. My goodness. Now, if you didn't know, each day Mr. James puts this, the Storytime onto our Learning From Home website. So if you don't see all the things that are wacky, you can go back in and watch later today, watch the video, you can pause it and find all the wacky things. So don't panic if you don't find them all today. Then 12 worse things. I got scared and I ran. And I knocked over Patrolman McGann. Look at that buggy's upside down. That car's flying. Plane's going backwards. It's all a bit bonkers, isn't it? My goodness. I'm sorry, Patrolman. That's all I could say. Don't be sorry, he smiled. It's just that kind of day. But be glad. Wacky Wednesday will soon go away. Only 20 more things will be wacky, he said. Just find them and then you can go back to bed. Poor little piggy's got no legs. He's legless, not armless, he's legless. Anyway, you might want to go back and look at this one to find 20 things. Wacky Wednesday was gone when I counted them all, and I even got rid of that shoe on the wall that started it all. Nice. All right. Got another one that's a little bit wacky, not quite the same wacky. We won't slow down so much with this one. So this is To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. This is by Dr. Zeus. We might have to have a Dr. Zeus themed week. Books a days next week, I think. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, your eyesight's far too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into owls. Now, what can I say when I get home today? I'll just do it this way so you can see the picture. All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed, except my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's not really exciting, is it? That's nothing to tell. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart. That is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. I should change that to Richardson Street, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll do that. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvellous beast with a cart that's so tame. My story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer. A blue and gold chariot, Otago colours, that's something to beat. Rumbling like thunder down Richardson Street. Using a little bit of artistic license, so I'm just changing the words a wee bit. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Richardson Street. Hold on a minute, there's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh. Say anyone could think of that. Fred or Jack or Joe or Nat. Say even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size. A blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then, just to give him a little more tone, have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw that on Richardson Street. But now, I don't know, it still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite, but it'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. Oh my goodness gracious. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it. But it's going so fast that no one can keep near it. I'll put on a trailer, I know they won't mind, if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now, is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs 2, at least. But now what worries me is this. Richardson Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. Imagine that, because the elephant wouldn't stop very fast, would he? Here we go. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through where traffic's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulberry himself at the lead. The mayor is there, and he thinks it's grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there, and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. Now that makes a story that's really not bad. But still, it still could be better. Supposing I add a Chinese boy who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. I swung round the corner and I dashed up the gate. I rang up the stairs and I felt simply great, for I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled on his chin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Oh, he's got a bit of a dilemma. Does he tell his story or does he tell the truth? What do you reckon? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. So he decided to be honest. That's pretty good, isn't it? So Mulberry Street, that's another one of my favourites, although we've changed it to Richardson Street, haven't we? You could write a story. You could do the same kind of thing, make up a story. When you go for your walk today with your family, you could write a story about something that you see and then you make it bigger than it really is. Tell a little bit of a fib. Wonder what your story would turn out like, and I wonder what street you might walk down. So before we go, tomorrow we're going to have a dinosaur theme. So I've got a couple of dinosaur books. I don't quite know how I'm going to dress up. Maybe I'll just look really old. I might just look tired tomorrow, then I'll look like a dinosaur. So we may not have a dress up, but if you've got some dinosaurs, bring them along, and I shall see you tomorrow for our dinosaur stories. Ka kite a popo. Love you.
Bye.